Hi everyone and welcome to Mighty Kiddos. Today we will be discussing what proper development looks like at a 6-month check-in for our kiddos. If you're interested to see what to expect at this age and what red flags to look out for, stay tuned. Hey guys, so let's get started with social development. Our kiddos at this age are super social. This is what I really love about parenting and working with kiddos this age, is because you really start to see their personality. So at this point, kids start to really enjoy that turn taking with playing. So peekaboo seems really interesting for them right now. When you're teaching them certain things like, or how to clap their hands, they're so into it. So definitely take advantage of every diaper change, bath time to interact with your child one-on-one and encourage that social connection that they're seeking naturally at this age. At this age, they start recognizing familiar faces more, and they will know when there's a stranger. This is probably the first time you'll start seeing that kiddos become very shy when, relatives that don't see them as often try to carry them. So just reassure your family that, hey, he's starting to understand when there's strangers. Let's just take it easy. Always follow your kids' cue. Don't ever make them feel forced to be with somebody that they're not feeling comfortable with, okay? So just keep an eye on that, right? It's natural. It's normal for them to cry or not want to be held by strangers. It's definitely developmentally appropriate at this age. At this age, it's really fun to play in the mirror, so it's really exciting to have him on tummy time or side lying with the mirror next to them. They really start to engage. They want to touch the image, or even just smile, think that that's cute or funny. So definitely give your child opportunities to do that. Now, in terms of language development, this is also a really fun stage because they definitely start becoming more verbal. They will want to babble more. You'll be hearing the M's and the D's. So mama, na, na, ma, more of that. And even dad. You'll be hearing a lot more of that. So keep an eye on that and encourage it, right? If you're in a bilingual home, this is really important to make sure your child is getting the hang of both languages if you're doing that. So definitely focus and engage on reading and singing at this age. They will start stringing also vowel sounds together, like ah, eh, and they will start to take turns with you. So if you're talking to them, hey Bubba's, how did you sleep today? And you take a little pause, you'll hear them, Mom, they'll babble something back to you. So that is definitely showing us that they're understanding the way communication works, right? So this is really exciting. Keep an eye on that. We really want to make sure that your child is meeting these milestones at this age. It's really key for us to keep track of our kids' emotions and how they display those emotions verbally. We want to make sure we're hearing those squeals, those giggly sounds, and we also want to hear those grunts, right? Like, to show displeasure. It's not just all about joy. We want to honor and hear them when they are uncomfortable or when they don't want something. So keep an eye on that as well. Now let's move on to the next milestones. In terms of cognition, what we should start to see by this age is the kiddos are bringing stuff to their mouth, not just their hands, but also toys, right? This is around the average age where people start introducing solids to kiddos. So this is really, functional for them to learn how to bring things to their mouth. Some people do baby-led weaning, other people do purees, or a combination of both. But this is why it's important to allow your child that ability to develop bringing things to their mouth. So keep an eye on that. We should definitely be seeing that by this age. They also start looking at things nearby and things that are out of reach. So you will start seeing them trying to grab something from you. Oh, they want to get that. That's, your brother is playing with, or something that dad has. They want to start reaching for that. And another thing that they're doing in terms of cognition is that they're getting the hang of putting one toy from one hand to the other. And this is happening a lot more seamlessly now. So it's really exciting to see how they're starting to develop their independence at this age. Now, in terms of independence, now let's talk about how they become more mobile at this age. A lot of the kiddos by this age are already rolling both ways, from tummy to back, left and right. So we want to make sure we do see that if they're rolling onto their belly, that they don't have a preferred side, that they are equally rolling to both sides. Another thing to keep track of, kids' gross motor development is that when you're standing them up, that they're able by this age to carry some weight on their feet. So they're able to stand up straight or even sometimes kick off. But what's more developmentally appropriate is for them to be able to stand straight with some support. So make sure your child is doing that by this age. And another thing is that they're sitting independently. So now you can prop them up into a seated position and then they're able to stay there. So make sure that your child is not just staying there kind of frozen, but he or she has the ability to reach for toys. That's playing for toys. Maybe starts, hitting on a drum or something, or even bringing things to his mouth. And also keep track of how well they catch themselves, right? Is that reflex developing by this point or not? If you're having issues having your child sit independently, don't hesitate to watch my video on how to help your child sit independently. I will link it in the description below so you can take a look at that and follow some of the tips that I share with you. Now, another thing that we start seeing at this age is some kids start they're starting to rock back and forth, getting ready for that crawling that will usually take place around 8 or 9 months. So now that we've covered the proper development, now let's take a look at what to do when your child isn't meeting some milestones. So the milestones that we should be seeing by this age that your child has met is definitely that they're responding to sounds and affections. So we really want them to, smile when we smile. Like, if we want to make sure that they're able to, respond appropriately to our emotions. Social emotional development is really crucial by this age, and we should start seeing that. We should also start seeing a variety of emotions like happiness, joy, tiredness, anger, and that he or she is able to communicate that with us verbally with grunts and giggles. If you are not seeing this by this time, please contact your pediatrician and request a developmental evaluation. We just want to make sure that your child's cognitive development and all around development is going appropriately. And if he needs some support, early intervention is key. It really works. The sooner you get it started, the better it is for your child. So don't be afraid to reach out for some help. Another thing is making sure that if your child starts to roll, like I said earlier, make sure he's not preferring one side, okay? Definitely keep track of how they're moving and making sure that by this age, they're not preferring one side. That is not developmentally appropriate. So definitely speak to your pediatrician and seek professional help if you're noticing that your child is preferring one side, either for just grabbing things with one side, rolling to one side. Those things should not be happening. At this point, development should be equally left and right. So keep track of that, guys. 2 things to keep track of in terms of kids, how they feel. We want to make sure that they're not feeling floppy like a drag doll. And we want to make sure that we're not feeling too much stiffness throughout their body. So when you're feeling either of these, contact your pediatrician and tell them what you're noticing, okay? They will give you next steps to follow, but definitely seek professional help by this if you're noticing these things. Another thing is that we want to make sure that your child is responding to sounds, loud sounds. So if you see that your child doesn't get bothered by the vacuum or by, a siren or the fire alarm, something. Sometimes kiddos have fluid in their ear and that doesn't let them hear sounds very loud. And we want to make sure we get that situated to help your child drain that fluid out so then it doesn't affect their language or any other aspects of their development. Hey guys, that wraps it up for our 6-month milestone. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Help our channel grow so we can continue to share these tips and messages with others that can get some value from this. So help us by sharing it. Help us by following us on our Instagram or Facebook page at Mighty Kiddos. Hey, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a good day.